in that those guys like Steve Martin and, they always had these old school chops. And then you came in with a new style of media that was like, it was, and the only thing I can relate that to is, this is my big connect, because I really think Jackass was spawned from your show.
Yeah.
I really think you were the inspiration for Jackass. And I know Johnny Knoxville came up with it on his own, but I think without you, we get no Jackass.
Yeah.
But I remember being with Bam Margera and Ryan Dunn one time and kids would go, do Jackass. And they didn't know how to do it. Mm-hmm. Like, they didn't know how to do what they did in the show in live person.
Right, sure.
And you were a comedian, but I saw in that moment, you were like, the Tom Green thing, it's a hard, you got to be in on it.
I was jumping around with a box on my head, So I was sort of an that was sort of an anti-joke moment for sure. Because I was sitting there I'd only been in LA for like a couple weeks, and Martin Short invited me on his first talk show, and Steve Martin was the other guest. I'm like, okay, so I'm going to be sitting between Ed Grimley and the Jerk, and how am I supposed to? So I thought I'd go, overly silly, and I, just brought a cardboard box out and stuck on my head and was jumping around, and it was actually kind of a fun appearance. But I remember being completely amazed that when I got to the studio, Steve Martin came and knocked on my dressing room door. He came in and introduced himself and said he'd been watching the show and that he really liked the show. And I was like, wow, that is so cool, that he came out and he'd gotten some tapes. He'd gotten some VHS tapes of the show to watch them. So, it's surreal. It was a surreal thing to go through all my footage, and to make the doc. It was definitely, I would not advise it to anybody to make a documentary about yourself.
Your parents are fucking adorable.
Yeah.
They really, your mom, when she goes, isn't it against better interest to have the person the documentary is about directing it? And you're like, yeah, I think that's actually.
You're not supposed to do that, no.
Your mom's fucking adorable. But is there a moment where you go, I've had a couple pops, I'm outside, I'm at my place in Canada, but let's be fucking real. I created all this shit.
Well,
because, okay, I'll toot your own horn. Tom Green show, probably first, no one's doing Man on the Street at the time. No one's doing Crazy Man on the Street. No one's doing now what Jack Doherty and all these TikTok kids, hey, it's just a prank, that shit. Mm-hmm. You created that entire genre. Joe Rogan has credited you with setting up